What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and we're going to look at South Carolina. Some initial thoughts here on the Gamecocks and if this team will be better or worse in 2024. This is a little bit of a tricky one, but 5-7 was the record last season. They finished tied for fourth in the SEC East, and I say that this is a tricky one because they were very active in the transfer portal. 20 guys coming in. They had 22 players going out. So this is going to be a much different looking team this season. And it's kind of hard to say right now if they're going to be better or worse. But I'll give it my best shot here. You look at the quarterback position, Spencer Rattler, I should say, going to be gone. What do they do there at quarterback? Is Lenore Sellers ready? Is he going to be the guy for them? They brought in a veteran, Bevel from Oklahoma, a guy that could probably step in there and do a decent job for them. They also brought in Robbie Ashford from Auburn. So I'm going to be really curious to see who wins that quarterback battle. Luke Doty, I believe, is still on the roster as well. Again, it's always hard this time of year when the teams haven't put out their actual 2024 rosters. It's hard to know for sure who's coming back and all that. But actually, I think they had. So, yeah, I've actually run through the entire roster. So he is still on the roster. And so I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. I think we'll find out. I don't even know if we'll find out after the spring. You look at the running back position, they're going to lose, not too much there. Mario Anderson did enter the transfer portal, but they bring in Rocket Sanders from Arkansas. And this is a guy that when he's healthy, he's one of the best running backs in the conference. So that is good news there. Juju McDowell will also be back. So I think running back position, they should still be in pretty good shape there. You look at the wide receivers, though. This is where I'm concerned if I'm a South Carolina fan. Of course, Juice Wells never even played. I don't think he played at all last year. Amarian Brown, the speedster, he's gone. Xavier Leggett, who emerged as a really good player for them, he's gone. Some other guys gone, entered the transfer portal. Eddie Lewis is gone. So they don't really have much production really at all coming back at wide receiver. And you look at the transfer portal, they did add Amari Huggins-Bruce from Louisville. That's a guy that, he should be pretty good. They added a guy from Miami of Ohio. I'll be honest, I don't know much about him. And so they've been active Jared Brown from Coastal Carolina. So how good will these players be? It really, I think, comes down to the quarterback position, and they're going to not be as good. Spencer Rattler was really good for them. You look at tight end, Trey Knox is going to be gone. That's a huge loss. But Joshua Simon is back. He has a chance to be one of the better, or maybe the best tight end in the SEC. We'll see how that plays out. And then the offensive line, where they really struggled. This is my concern for South Carolina. They really didn't do a whole lot to address that. They're losing several guys on the offensive line, and they added a few players in the transfer portal. Added a guy from North Carolina Central. They added Kamar Bell coming from FAU. And again, when you look at this offensive line, Aaron Parks from Oklahoma, that's a guy that can maybe help them out. But they didn't upgrade a ton. And so the offensive line still could be a problem for them. Maybe it's better than it was last year. But I think just overall, with questions in the passing game, offensive line, still maybe some question marks there. This team offensively probably not going to be as good as they were last season. I think they may not drop off much, but I think that they will be a little bit worse at least than they were this past season. So let's go to the defensive side now. And a little bit more optimistic on this side. You look at the defensive line, an area where they really struggled last year. They lose several players on that defensive line, but really, again, the pass rush, who's going to emerge there? They lose guys like Jordan Strachan. They lose a guy like Tyreek Johnson. These players are pretty good, but don't really lose any superstars. Let's just put it that way. And then if you look in the middle of the defensive line, Alex Huntley, Tonka Hemingway, TJ Sanders, these guys will be back. So the interior of their defensive line looks really, really strong. I think they're going to be good there. They added DeAndre Jules from Pittsburgh. Actually added a few players from Pitt on this defensive line. Or on this defense, I should say. And so, I think the defensive line should be pretty good for them. Monkel Goodwine from Alabama also added him. Gilbert Edmond comes back to South Carolina. He's kind of an edge rusher for them. So, again, the defensive line, I think, should be better. No reason to think they're going to be any worse. And then you go to the linebacker position. they're in pretty good shape there as well. Grayson, Howard, Stone, Blanton, they entered the transfer portal, but Devo Williams will be back. Bam Martin Scott will be back. And they also added on the transfer portal here as well, Demetrius Knight coming in from Charlotte, a guy that I think could probably contribute there on that at that linebacker spot. And then also Kamara from Pitt, pretty good linebacker there. So I think they're in good shape there at that position. And then you go to the secondary. Marcellus Dial is gone. You're going to miss him there at corner, but that's about it. And then at the safety position, not really going to lose much there. And they bring pretty much everyone back. So that secondary should be good. They added a few players to the transfer portal as well. And so overall, you look at this defense, yeah, they should be better. I think defensive line, as good if not better. Linebacker, as good if not better. Secondary should be better. Again, with a lot of players coming back there. So this is a defense that definitely should improve this season. And so you're looking at a defense that's better, an offense that's worse. What does that mean for 2024? I think it's going to be about the same. I think there's potential for them to be better. I think they can get to a bowl game potentially. And again, it's not all about the record here. I just think this team overall, again, is going to be about the same. More likely that they're better than they are worse. But if I had to say right now, again, with all these transfers, it's kind of tough to really get a good idea of just how good this team's going to be. But maybe by the time we get through spring, we'll learn a little bit more. But again, right now, I'm going to say this South Carolina team, they're going to be about the same in 2024. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know your thoughts on the Gamecocks down in the comments below.